Pyro Mines are a heavy class only gadget in the finals. You get two of them. They have a medium cooldown before you get one back, and they do what it sounds like. You can see they explode, which does an initial spike of damage, and then they do damage over time within their burning area. People that touch that area, which lingers for a short time, take a little more burning damage over a short duration. They'll explode when stepped on, or also if they're damaged enough, as you saw I triggered it with my flamethrower earlier. And you can retrieve them to get a charge back. You can just pick them up off the ground. You know, they're Pyro Mines. They do fire stuff. They light goo and such on fire. They ignite and clear gas, and smoke extinguishes them like other fires. That's all normal. What I think is interesting about these is that they're specifically a heavy gadget. These give the heavy class a fairly versatile tool that both offers a way to control space and provides some burst damage when combined with heavy's weapons and other gadgets. Welcome back to Gameplay Gems, folks. I'm Zandy, and I love Pyro Mines. For one thing, Pyro Mines are kind of in between the other mine options. So for example, compared to explosive mines, they do less burst damage when they explode, but they do some, and then you get that lingering fire that controls space. You know, it can burn stuff too. And by contrast, the medium class's gas mine gives you more lingering damage in an area, and it may linger for longer, but it doesn't do that initial spike damage. Gas mines do no damage when they initially explode. Now again, medium doesn't have access to pyro mines, only explosive and gas, and I guess glitch traps. But it's interesting how pyro mines are kind of in between those two options. I really like jack-of-all-trades options in pretty much all build systems, especially when you have elegantly restricted space in your build as you do in the finals. You know, you only get 3 gadgets. It kind of feels like you get more abilities, more than 3 gadgets, if you can do more with each one. And aside from my personal preferences, I think having limited space in your build is a great little buff to jack-of-all-tradesy stuff in games, to make things that are versatile but not as good at any one thing a little more worthwhile, to help them catch up to more specialized options. And in this case, I think it gets better. With Pyro Mines, because you get 2 of them and they do some of that, both initial damage and area control, with careful use, you can also magnify either of those effects, making your jack-of-all-trades option into enough initial damage to kill someone outright, or multiple burning zones to restrict space more if you use both mines. Having said that, I'm not really here to say Pyro Mines are particularly good or bad. I just think they're versatile and fun to use, and that giving them to the heavy class is a cool design decision. They kind of pad out heavy's abilities in a way I just think is fun and an interesting design decision. You can use Pyro Mines straightforwardly in a normal, kind of good stuffy heavy loadout to add some utility to your kit. Here I'm just using Charge and Slam, the Shack, whatever weapon you want really, but I like something with a bit of range that's a little more versatile. The RPG, the 2 Pyro Mines, and then just whatever other gadget you like. Anti-gravity cube, maybe the deadbolt to hold people in place. You can throw them onto a point and trigger them with a rocket, or add damage to the area with a slam to clear it off. Do a lot of damage to a team stacked up on an objective, stuff like that. I like to use them when I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic too, or as a sort of get off me move. There's going to be plenty of deaths in this video of me just killing myself with my Pyro Mines, but sometimes I think I'm going to die, or I can't really get a handle on a light or medium, and sometimes you can just put down mines and parkour a little bit and people will die. Speaking of dying, hey, are you as questionable at this game as I am? I have gotten so many kills after death or just a long time after throwing out my mines. While a lot of this video is me using them kind of like grenades, I mean that's effective too, you get a really nice benefit from them being mines as well. Everything from leaving them up on an objective to tossing them in a narrow hallway, or right before you die if you don't know where you're being attacked from. You can just pick them back up if you don't catch anyone out, and a lot of the time you do. I got a nice assist there for not very much intentional thought. Even just being able to fling them down onto enemies from above, you get a lot of the benefit of grenades, and of course you get 2. Plus that ability to retrieve them. In the finals in general, you could think of your loadout as a set of tools that you can convert into advantages to help your team win. So one way to evaluate anything in a game like this is to say, how easily can you convert any of these gadgets into progress toward winning the match, tactical superiority, or whatever, you know, zone control too. And mines just, I think, fairly clearly have a huge advantage at that, and this is the one you get 2 of. And indeed, my footage in this video is all from Power Shift. They're still useful in the other ways I've mentioned in other modes, but my footage is always how I actually play, and lately I've been playing this. My big point is just that seeing that you got use out of your choice of game pieces is just very fun. Obviously, it's an oversimplification to say that makes them good, but that is one thing they're good at. And I think in these more competitive multiplayer games, people tend to discount that the only point of doing this is to have fun. You get everything from carefully restricting space to, say, punching a hole in the ceiling with charge and slam, to then ambush people with your mines when you drop down. That's pretty satisfying too. And of course, Heavy has the health pool to take a few hits or a badly placed mine explosion. That only moderate initial damage can sometimes save your life compared to an explosive mine. Okay, but let's go back to that other loadout for a second. Can we talk about using Pyro Mines with a flamethrower? I showed you this at the top of the video, and I'm hardly the first one to come up with this, but Heavy's flamethrower will trigger mines almost immediately with no need for precision, so you can add a lot of burst damage to your flamethrower, fixing up what's usually one of its weak points. I also just think the loadout kind of makes itself. I mean, it's kind of part of your weapon if you're going to throw a pyro mine for burst damage with your flamethrower, so it's very nice that you get 2 of them. Dome shield is a perfect fit. You can force people into range of your flamethrower, you can put a mine in the dome shield and people will walk into it and die. You could bring the RPG for some environment destruction, and would you look at that, you've got a long range option to finish people off. And then Winch Claw is just very funny to me with Pyro Mines, but I think it is nice with the flamethrower too. Again, just another way to get people to go into the range of your flamethrower. In a way, my dying a lot is sort of the point too. I don't think I'm doing a particularly good job in much of this footage, but the Heavy class is tanky and has a good amount of area of effect damage, so I think some ability to control space with that lingering effect of the mines, you can see lingering on the point even after I'm dead, is fun but also fairly valuable, just the cool addition to the Heavy class. One more loose idea, maybe not so much for this loadout, but if you're using it in a sort of general good stuff loadout, and you do value smoke grenades, it's worth noting that they do turn off your pyro mines. And you saw, when you throw them on a point, they do take up a lot of space. Smoke will turn off the fire, so having the ability to switch off your pyro mines would be nice. I just feel like you need to think that smoke grenades are valuable in general otherwise too. Otherwise you have a whole gadget just to disable the usually good effect of your other gadget. That's not really worth it. But if you think smoke grenades are good otherwise, maybe it would be interesting to try them here. I have fairly often wanted to switch off my pyro mines, but I don't think these are that good on their own, so it's not for me, but something I thought was worth considering. It does bring us to the issue of balance, and for pyro mines, I don't have a whole lot to say. It is just curious to me where you don't see pyro mines, though. Like in the different classes. Think back to my point earlier about how they're kind of in between gas and explosive mines. So then wouldn't it be interesting to let medium use them? You could run 3 mines that way, gas, explosive, and then if you had pyro mines, you can kind of already do that with glitch traps, but I don't think a lot of people would run triple mines if that was available, nor is that really that bad. I don't see why that would be bad. That's kind of fun. And you'd have to sacrifice your mobility and defibrillator to do that, so I don't think that's really a huge problem. I guess it could be that it's kind of hard to balance pyro mines if you have explosive and gas mines. I mean, let's imagine if Heavy had access to gas mines, turn it around. I could easily see myself running gas and explosive mines in the pyro mine and anti-gravity cube slot you saw in my other loadout. So maybe it was just hard to get pyro mines and gas mines to feel competitive at the same time, both good in the same way. I don't know, to go even further, maybe pyro mines were originally created as a way to give Heavy weak gas mines. I think gas mines are pretty strong on medium, so with our mere mortal limited human ability to balance things, well, not ours, the developers of the finals, I could understand if it was just hard to get gas mines to be good for medium and heavy at the same time. It's kind of challenging for a lot of gadgets to be good for multiple classes at the same time. So I really could see pyro mines having been developed as a way to give kind of gas mines to Heavy, but to just make the zone control a little less powerful. Heavy could tank through the gas of the gas mine really, really well. That's already not bad with pyro mines, but the upfront damage maybe makes that a little more fair. I don't know. If that is why they chose to do that, I think they made something very fun using that need for balance. Folks, I present to you Pyro Mines. I've been Sandy, and you've been tuned to Gameplay Gems. I've got plenty more build making materials where this one came from. Take a gander if you like. And I'll take this opportunity to say thank you to my patrons and other supporters for funding this video. Happy hunting out there, that's all I got.